Hey everyone, it's Julian, and today I'm super excited to be talking to you about how to make music like Skee Mask. I'm going to be talking especially about his releases on Alien Tape and that very rave influenced but still futuristic sound. As usual, you can get the full project files, samples, MIDI, and presets. Everything like that from this video is available at the top of the description, and if you're a patron on my Patreon, check there because it's already available. And yeah, let's get started. So we're at 123 BPM, a little bit slower, but it's nice with this really chill style of stuff. And the first sound that we have here is the pad, which sounds like this. So, these chords look kind of complex, but I'll show you. Basically, it's just based around this G chord here, and then just going down to D, which is just 5 notes down, and also the 5th. So you can see, yeah, we have G, a D in the G chord, which is just the 5th of G. Then we have a G minor 9 sort of thing happening here, where we have G, and then the minor 3rd there, which would be in every minor chord. But then we also have a 9th there. And then we have another D up here. Then we actually have a minor 7th. So this is creating a G minor 7 chord. And then another G up there. And then with the D chords, you can see it's the same deal pretty much. It's just notes that are all kind of in the same scale. So yeah, the key to these ones is just taking a really simple chord. Again, it's just a G minor 9 chord. So pretty much just these notes that you see right here, and then it's just spreading that out across the keyboard. Then you can see it's only 4 more notes on top of that are all just extra notes that are in that chord, and then you get this big lush pad like this. Now for the sound with this one, this is made with analog, so it's just 2 saw waves here going into a low pass filter. And then the modulation on the low-pass filter is really what creates the sound, because you can see we have an LFO as well as an envelope on there. So the envelope is opening it up slowly like this, but then the LFO is kind of just moving it slowly in the background as well. So it's 2 things moving the filter, and that's really going to create a big, huge sound like that. And then we got the amp envelope set like that. There's the LFO, so you can see it's really slow. And then we just have some vibrato and some unison, making the sound even bigger. And yeah, then we just have some chorus, which helps to spread it out a bit and give it some space. And then speaking of adding space, we have some reverb as well. There's a pretty long reverb, so that's a big part of the sound too, is the fact that it's opening and closing. And every time that filter opens like that, you're getting this big wash of reverb. Then we just have some drum bus to fatten it up, but you don't want to do too much. You want to make sure that it's not making it too messy, and it's just making it a bit fatter. And then finally I have this high pass filter, which we can actually set now. Because the thing is, it's you really just want a little cut in the low end, but you still want to let most of that low end come through, because you can hear it's not going to clash with the bass. So, I wouldn't really push it any higher than that. Just getting rid of the low lows, but not getting in the way too much of the bass line. And yeah, then we have the bass line. The bass is kind of similar to what I was saying with the chords. It's all just stuff within this G minor chord sort of scale here. So you can see we have G, D, which was the same chord progression with the chords up top. But then, so you can see we have an A sharp, so it's a minor 3rd of G, another D, another G, and then another A sharp. So very simple. It's just about having that very kind of slowed down, kind of more halftime bass line, very jungle and old school UK hardcore influence. And then just how that's grooving with the break beat. How you get that with the snare right in the middle. And then for the sound, the bassline sound is actually very simple. It's just a sine wave with a little bit of FM from the second oscillator here. So yeah, this is, you can see, like a really straightforward bass. It's all about just creating a really fat and simple, nice bass wave, and then just kind of letting that fly. So then you can see that's going into a low pass filter. So I've talked about this a bit on this channel before, but this is just kind of like cutting out some of that mid-range, because a lot of times when you have the higher notes, see how the low notes are a lot quieter? When you use this low pass, that just evens it out. And then we just have some drum bus on that to make it like really big. And then we have this kick. So yeah, you can see the kick's playing this kind of nice sort of syncopated pattern here. If you listen to it with the breakbeat, it's kind of working off of the pattern of that. And that's kind of the thing when you're making a track like this, because it's like, okay, so let's say you have your breakbeat, and this really extends with the percussion too, and I'll talk about it there. But it's like, okay, so you want the track to be like a nice pad, a nice bass line, a nice breakbeat. Cool, but you still need stuff around that. You know, you need like a kick, you need percussions, and you need it to really feel like a full track. So when you're trying to make a kick, I recommend, it can be a little bit hard to figure out where the kick is going to fit in, because it's like, again, like where do you put it in with that breakbeat already kind of having its own rhythm happening. The key is just to do like this, where it's very much kind of working with the breakbeat. And you just listen to the breakbeat and try to hear like where you feel it needs a kick. And that's where you put it in, rather than trying to like follow some sort of template. And yeah, so this is just like a nice fat kick. This is actually the kind of kick I would usually use for a techno kick. You know, you just want something really big and boomy that's gonna fit well with the bass line, but still just like really stand on its own. And then that's just going through some drum bus just to give it a bit of extra fatness. And then we have the breakbeat. So as you can hear, we just have this nice, very punchy and kind of like tight sounding breakbeat. You can see I pitched it up a little bit, and then I chopped it to do this pattern. This pattern is obviously very similar to the pattern from Routine by Skee, and all this is it's just this. It's just that, like, that's a very popular breakbeat pattern in drum and bass, and more like just quote unquote breakbeat music. And yeah, so we're just using that. We just have like that kind of dynamic, and it's also happening here, because you can hear there's a snare in the beat already there, so it's kind of doing that. But then we added the second one right after. So yeah, you're just kind of playing with little chunks of the break like this to create an interesting pattern. And it's also the stop and start dynamic, the way we get the little pause every time when you have the kick. Boom. You know, that's really important, and even like the bass line is doing that too. You know how it goes doo doo doom once the breakbeat comes back in. So yeah, just kind of like everything is working toward that stop and start thing, not just the breakbeat, but that's where it's the most noticeable. And so this is just going through a bit of drum bus. This is pretty important. You want to make sure that you process it a little bit, because it's not really going to sound right if you don't. You need it to be really full and punchy like this. So I just have some drum bus, and then just a high pass filter to make sure it's not going to get in the way of the kick or the bass line. And then just a really slight high arm boost with this EQ8 here. And yeah, then after that, we have sort of like all this background percussion, which sounds like this. So on its own, obviously, it sounds a bit empty, but essentially, the idea here is we're trying to add some little sounds that are going to accentuate the breakbeat and make it so that it's not just like that one thing, but aren't going to take up too much space. So like, you'll hear it, like if I turn this stuff off and just play you the track where it's just the breakbeat and the kick and that's the only drums. It's cool, but it's a bit flat. It doesn't really have a lot of like little nuanced stuff happening. So we bring these elements in. And you know, it just gives you something there to kind of fill in some space. So you can see the first thing is this 909 hi-hat. This is the most processed out of all of them. So this is just a 909 hi-hat that I've shortened a little bit. And then you'll notice it has a low pass filter on it with a slight LFO. So it's just kind of like bringing the hi-hat in and out there. So it's not just one thing the whole way through, it's a bit more nuanced like I was saying. And then that's just going through some drum bus and a high pass filter to make sure this doesn't cut out, or make sure this doesn't get in the way of the low end of the track. And yeah, then we have these other percussions, which are all just like the little... You know, just these little punchy, quick percussion sounds. And yeah, these, as much as they seem random, it's actually very careful. I spent a lot of time like sitting there and really making sure that these fit into the right places. Because if you can really make all of this stuff, the kick, the breakbeat, the hi-hat, and the percussion perfectly play together, you can hear it can work really well. And then I just have those all going through a bit of drum bus on the group of the percussions to give them all some processing and kind of make them all fit together. And yeah, so that is going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get the full project file and samples and MIDI presets. Everything from this video is available at the top of the description. So if you like this music and you want to follow along and have the project file and all the samples and everything, the MIDI, for yourself to work with and also support me at the same time, you know, picking up these sample packs really helps to support me and keep me going so I can keep bringing you guys new project files and videos every single day. And yeah, thank you so much. Definitely go pick that up. And I will see you guys tomorrow with another video.